Hey, everybody. I've got a question for you. A question about relationships. Do you feel like sometimes you may actually sabotage a relationship that you're in? Have you ever been in a relationship in the past, or maybe are you in one now and you're afraid it's happening as we speak? That you have sabotaged things in this relationship, that maybe you are doing things or have done things where you're afraid that it may actually push the other person away, cause enough conflict, or cause the other person to feel badly enough that the relationship just falls apart. Sabotage the relationship. That's what sabotage looks like. It leads to the end of a relationship. Well, if a person has found that as a pattern, they have had multiple relationships, romantic relationships, we're talking about, that haven't worked out, it's really important to really start to think about, well, what the heck does this mean? Think about, are you doing certain things that are causing the end of this relationship? Now, one of the most important things to think about is something that you probably aren't thinking about without prompting, and that's this. Do you have some underlying core beliefs that might be causing you to sabotage your relationships? Core beliefs. These are really basic, fundamental beliefs that you may have about yourself that could be causing you to act in a way in your relationships that ultimately leads them to end. All right. So, one of the things that we have gotten from cognitive behavior therapy over the years, one of the most effective types of psychotherapy, called CBT for short, is the understanding that one needs to look at their underlying core beliefs. That if someone is struggling in a particular area in their life, that they are probably operating from certain, what we call, distorted beliefs. Are there some distorted beliefs that you have about yourself? Things that you believe about yourself that aren't necessarily true, but you sure believe them and you hold on to them. You might have certain beliefs about yourself that you use to kind of organize your whole world, organize your expectations for other people, even organize kind of how you see yourself in relationships. This is your role to be this person. That's sort of like an explanation of what a core belief is that one can have about themselves. Now, one of the most common distorted beliefs is also one of the most basic, and it's this one: the core belief that I am unlovable. I am unlovable. Now, is this true? No, it is not true. But does it feel true? Does it feel real to a whole lot of people? It sure does. And here's the thing: if you are someone who suffers from this extreme distorted belief, it's not something that you may even have been aware of. Why? Because this is like an old belief system that you set up a long time ago, years ago, probably in the past, and didn't even realize it was happening. It was what we call unconscious. You were not even aware of it. It's that primitive. It's that sort of fundamental and intrinsic to who you have become, who you have grown into. But just because that is the case doesn't mean that it's true. But the thing is, if you are operating from this distorted belief that you are unlovable, it can negatively impact your relationships and you can sabotage them. Your relationships can end because of who you tell yourself you are in a relationship. So, when we talk about the distorted belief of I am unlovable, like I said, a lot of times people don't even understand that they feel that way. One way to think about it is not that it is so much a belief. You may understand it this way better: it's a fear. Think about it this way: do you feel ever afraid that maybe you might not be lovable? Do you sometimes have that terrible fear? I'm afraid I might not be able to be loved, that I might not be lovable. So you might recognize it as a fear, something once in a while, if you're really honest with yourself, that you're afraid of, that you're not lovable. And you know what? Many, many, many people have different fears around love. And if that's a fear that you have, just focus on what we need to do to correct it, to improve it. There's nothing wrong with you for having that fear. In fact, it's just important to have a little self compassion and empathy to think to yourself, wow, have I actually been operating from this place for so many years in my life? From this fear, from this belief that I am not lovable? Wow. If so, have compassion for yourself. Why? Because I believe it's everyone's human right to be able to be loved, and that we are all lovable, and that we all deserve to be loved. And that is something that I want for everyone. So let's be honest and start from the place. If this is a real fear that you have, if this is a belief that you're working from, that you are unlovable, accept it. Accept, whoa, that is true. I do feel that way. Accepting it doesn't mean that you agree with it. Accepting it doesn't mean that you accept it and that that's going to be the way it is going to be forever. No, no, no. It means you have accepted that you have been operating from this distorted belief up until now. But now that you have awareness, now that you have insight, now that you see it, you understand it, you realize it, now you can do something about it. Once we can admit something is a problem, well, the road ahead is clear. Now all we need to do is fix it. All we need to do is fix it. If this is something that you have felt or feared that you are unlovable, one of the best ways to really start to heal this is to do it through friendships. Now, look at friendships that you have and ask yourself, what kind of a friend are you? Are you a lovable friend? Are you reliable? Are you good at listening? Are you good at helping others? Are you good at supporting others? Do you act like a cheerleader for your friend? Do you compliment your friends and make them feel good and want to be there for them? Are you good at providing emotional support? Do you have a positive attitude with your friends? Do you show interest in your friends? Do you ask them questions about how they're really doing, how they're feeling, what they're thinking, what's been going on with them lately? Do you show real, true interest? Okay. If you are a good friend, that is the best way to set the stage for you to see just how lovable you are. In friendships, remember, you can be loved too. It's a different kind of love. It's not a romantic love or a sexual love, but it is still a type of love that really matters. And the more you can focus on becoming a good, solid friend, a lovable friend in your friendships, the more I want you to look at that behavior and see it and say, wow, these are examples how supportive I am, how present I am for my friends, how available I am to my friends. These are all examples of how I am lovable. And when you look at this other positive behavior in this other area of your life, you can take those old thoughts you used to have, that old belief, that old fear, almost like a ghost that haunted you, that fear, being afraid that you're not lovable. And you can say, that old belief was wrong. That old belief was wrong. Actually, I am lovable. You can say to yourself, I am lovable. And as you strengthen the friendships that you have in your life and you invest more in them, you have more and more proof of just how lovable you are. And when you're ready, you will be ready to start a relationship with someone when there is a romantic spark there, and you can apply the same laws that you used to be a good friend in that romantic relationship too. Why? Because any good relationship really should operate from a foundation of friendship. All right. I hope this has been helpful. I hope that it's gotten you thinking about the fact that sometimes we can have distorted beliefs that can really cause major consequences in our lives. And I don't want anyone to sabotage their relationships because of these negative core beliefs. I think if you've identified a negative core belief, let's just do what we need to do to change. Okay. Also, if it helps, you can check out other videos I've got here on my YouTube channel, Dr. Seth Psychologist. And I wish you all the best. Don't forget, feel free to subscribe. And my goal is that these videos are helpful to you.